Dear students, let us proceed further and try to understand as to what exactly is the background approach given to us through the Nyaya School of Philosophy, and we will understand it. The introduction to, I can say, a bit of the chronology, and in which the entire thing has been taken place in that particular school of thought. Now, first and foremost, you should remember that Nyaya School of Indian Philosophy was founded by Gautama, and I shared this particular information in the form of a short story to all of you as to how this thing was given to him and granted. Now, you see, not because I'm highly religious or orthodox by nature. However, I was just sitting one day and trying to write a paper on something. Then suddenly, from the drawing room, I could hear the television serial that was being, observed, I should say, or watched by my parents. And I saw that this was Devon Ke Mahadev, Mahadev, that is Lord Shiva. Now, in that, what happens was that he is, there is interactive session taking place between him and his wife, that is second wife, that is Parvati. And he tells her, makes her aware that, see, you are not just the mother for your immediate children, that is Kartikeya or Lord Ganesha or Ashok Sundari. You should understand that your role as the universal mother is much more broader than what you're thinking. Then, she just looks at him because she's unable to understand what is that role that he's talking about. And he says that I want you to focus on that particular role also, that as a Jagat Janani. Now, when I heard this particular thing, I thought, okay, I got an answer as to, what are the thoughts about, femininity as rendered in or through Lord Shiva. And I was, attracted, and then I started watching, some of the, I should say, past sections of that particular television serial, and the future ones also, because there was quite a lot of things that I was trying to observe and trying to understand as to what exactly is taking up. Now, that is the importance of that particular thing. Now, in one of the episodes, I observed that Gautama, actually what happens is that all the Saptarishis together, they, somehow arrange for that particular meeting with Lord Shiva, who is known as Trikaldarshi, and, they wanted to know certain things. So they fix up an appointment with him for a meeting separately where nobody disturbs them, and there is a discussion, which is a group discussion on a one particular topic that has been chosen universally through those seven Saptarishis, I would say. Then, in one of the episodes, I observed that Lord Shiva, approaches Gautama, that he is one of the Saptarishi, and he is also known as Akshapad, and he says that, Gautama, I have a very important, because, every time whenever Gautama sees or perceives Lord Shiva, he a thought process is there. And what is a thought process? I don't know when Lord Shiva is going to grant me the boon, which my lifelong boon of writing a book, and I don't know when he is going to give me that approval and permission to write it down for the welfare of the entire society. He mentions it very clearly in that particular episode, and I was checking out the same thing through the Puranas which were available, and it is valid one. So, I started continuing to watch. Then ultimately, after a few years, I mean, I wouldn't say even years, it is basically the yugas. After a few yugas, Lord Shiva comes back one fine day to Gautama, and he says, along with Parvati Devi, and both of them, are they very happy, and they bless him and say that today we are going to fulfill and grant you the approval and give you the permission to start writing the book which you really wanted to write it. And he says that this book would be popularly called as Nyaya Sutras in the coming generations, and it would be the one of the most popular books that Gautama, you are going to pen it down. Now, Gautama is really excited, and he goes away from all worldly affairs or matters that were under his responsibilities. He sits down and he starts penning. Now, that's how the Gautama, that is the short history as to how Gautama came up with the Nyaya Sutras and how he starts off writing it down. So, that's why we say that this was founded by Gautama, the Nyaya school of Indian philosophy, number one, and it is called as Akshapada. Gautama is called by that name also. Now, Nyaya is also known as Paraman Shastra. Now, let me just go ahead and give you all those things so that you are able to understand it. Now, Praman Shastra is also called as the science of logic and epistemology. Remember this is very important. Then Hetu Vidya, it is the science of the causation, and it's an amazing one because I know I've been reading at least Gautama Sutras as well as Jayanta Bhatt as a student of my MA times, and I know how much Kanchana ma'am as well as Arindam sir really made me learn the things that were present in them also. No, they are my teachers also. Now Vada Vidya, that is science of debate, and then Anvikshi, which is the science of the critical studies. Now, I always keep on reiterating it again and again that yes, Nyaya school always helps you out first to master your skills logically, number one, number two, improve your reasoning, and number three, gives you a detailed description about the science of causation, and then debating. Now, debating is the most important factor which you will see in your journey as a student of philosophy, and you learn, you grasp, and this is very well present that debating is not just the verbal debates, we are even talking about the written format of it, and we will see later on as to how they are talking about it. And Vikshi is the study of the critical formations as to how to go ahead and present a critical study of something which very few of us are aware of. And then definitely Tarka Shastra, which is the science of reasoning. Now going forward, we should be able to inculcate something of these sciences also. The Nyaya Sutra is the main text written by Gautama on which Vatsyayan wrote a commentary which is called as Nyaya Bhashya. Now you will see that this is the technique that they are using it, that once a sutra, Nyaya Sutra has been done, then there is a commentary which is called as Bhashya, or they come up with Tika, not the sub-bhashyas or the sub-tikas, and you will see that this continues in the realm of the Nyaya, and not only Nyaya, in other schools of Indian philosophy also. Udyogtakara wrote in his Vartika on Nyaya Bhashya. So you are saying Gautama Sutras, then you have got Nyaya Bhashya, then in Vartika on Nyaya Bhashya. So it's a continuity which is taking place. Vachaspati wrote commentary on Vartika which is called as Tatparya Tika. So, they have given the names for their own works, creative works. No, I wouldn't say just the creativity. However, there are ways in which they were able to understand the theory, the concepts, and the entire philosophy also. Nyaya is a school of atomistic pluralism and logical realism. Now, why it is, I'll be explaining to you. Once we pick up those books, we'll be able to understand. It is allied to Vaiseshika system, which is called as Samanantara. Now, Vaiseshika develops ontology and metaphysics. Nyaya develops logic and epistemology. So, tomorrow, if somebody questions you why Nyaya, you should be able to let them know that yes, because a theory of knowledge has been developed via Nyaya school. Now, both agree in viewing the earthly life as full of suffering, as bondage of the soul, and we will see how much and how they argue about these things also. Then come, according to Nyaya, there are two kinds of knowledge that one has to remember. One is valid, which is also called as Prama. It is right apprehension of an object, which is called as Yatartha Anubhava, that is presentation of an object as it is. And the second one is the invalid, which is Aprama. Praman Shastra. So, Nyaya maintains the theory of correspondence. Now, this is something that I'll have to make you understand, and it is also called as Parataha Pramanya Shastra. There are four means of valid knowledge which you need to know: presentative cognition according to Nyaya, perception or pratyaksha, inference or anuman, comparison or upaman, testimony or shruti, on one hand, these are the valid sources of the knowledge. Under the list of invalid knowledge, we should remember that it includes smriti, memory, samasya or doubt, and then viparya, that is error or misapprehension, tark or hypothetical reasoning. Now, tark here, they focus more on the hypothetical reasoning. Now, unlike the hypothetical syllogisms, which you will find it out in deductive logic under the rules of inference, here the entire system has been developed and you will be getting a glimpse of beautiful hypothetical reasoning also. Now, valid knowledge corresponds to its object, is called as yatarth and avishwadi, okay, here, and leads to successful activity, which is called as pravritti samatya. Now here, so these are certain things that I'm giving you in blocks so that you are able to understand and proceed further. Invalid knowledge does not correspond to its object, which is avyatharth, and it is also called as samvada. Now samvadi, sorry, the one who argues about it, and leads to disappointment and failure. Now, when you are talking about valid knowledge, remember, corresponds to its object. This should immediately ring the bell and take you to Austin in his, for his philosophy on how to do things, with the help of the words. Now, there he talks about success. He talks about happiness. Okay, we are in the happy. Now here it is successful activity, number one. Now unhappy moments of Austin, here it is called as invalid knowledge. Now there he talks about unhappiness, here they're talking about disappointment and failure. Now this is how you need to make the association between the text and go further and find it out as to how these things can be taken care and understood completely. So I think I'm going to end here, and let me come back with the next class wherein we are going to discuss more about it. Till then, thank you and take care. Bye.